And so anyway, Kanye was saying about going to see Putin, and I thought, what a lad!
I think his
He's gonna go
music,
sort him
his
out.
music, it can heal anything. Did you? We talked about in
Oh,
the podcast yesterday. He's gonna release like I want to call it a stem cell player. It's called a stem player or something. And
well, if it could play
basically,
stem cells, that'd be great.
he's going to release his next album exclusively on like this $200 fucking Bluetooth speaker.
I
What
can't
do you
wait.
think? Are you rooting for that thing to succeed like me, Wave?
Yeah, as long as it's available in Russia, I am rooting for it.
There it is. Rootin' tootin' Putin. Right, Core Keeper. Shall we talk about some Steam Next Fest demos?
Yeah, yeah,
Tangerine.
go
We
on
call
then.
this Tangerine next. I just that should be like that's a working title, guys.
You can still see this. So, Core Keeper. Explore an endless cavern of creatures, relics, and resources in a mining sandbox adventure for 1 to 8 players. Mine, build, fight, craft, and farm to unravel the mystery of an ancient core. So before we go into this, actually, I just want to talk about sort of
Oh, next fest in gen.
Next Fest in general, yeah,
Yeah,
because usually with
the state.
the first Next Fest, Tangerine, I talk about the state of the demo festival.
Yeah,
Single player demos, again, absolutely fantastic. Um, all the single player demos I played, I think I enjoyed most of them. There were some really exceptional ones, and I will talk about those when we get to them. Um, Multiplayer, the developers were quite good. I thought a lot of the multiplayer games we played were quite good. But the problem was, again, as I always say, every single Next Fest, the problem was it was impossible to tell which games had multiplayer demos and which ones didn't. It was just I had to go and download every single one that looked like it had multiplayer to see if the demo itself had multiplayer and not the full game will have multiplayer at some point, because there was a couple like Blood Tifa Blood and Tifas or whatever. The Warhammer one didn't have co-op for the demo. Conan
oh, the
Chop,
shooters.
Conan
Yeah,
Conan Chop Chop. I think I was trying to play that didn't have it either. I don't think. Yeah.
right.
So
Is it? I guess
that
yeah. I guess it's hard to have demos with multiplayer, but I guess you found some that actually had proper multiplayer.
yeah. And one of them was Core Keepers, and I think Core Keepers was probably the one I enjoyed the most. I would say. I thought this was really fun. I think it's coming out soon. Actually, it comes out in 5 days. Recording 8th of March. And it would be a game I'd be interested in playing the full version of. So the general idea is that you sort of spawn in this cavern, and you've got this core, and basically you've got to try and find a way to power it. But it's most survival games, they'll like drop you into a big open world outside. This, you sort of start in a cavern, and then you have to dig through the cavern. So it has that big sense of exploration where you're always moving outwards from where you start to go, oh, what's
Yeah.
over here? What's over here? Like, I really like that concept.
Honestly, to me, kind of like the animations and stuff like kind of reminds me like an isometric
Yeah, I would
Terraria or
say, like, if I
something.
was going to compare it to another game, I would
We were saying
say
Stardew
that
Valley.
Stardew Valley,
Yeah,
Terraria,
yeah.
sort of.
And I get much more Terraria vibes from this, but that's just me, I
Hmm.
suppose.
So you were playing with me, Wave, in this demo.
I
What did you
was.
think of it?
I liked it. It was good. So yeah, very Stardew Valley was my feelings.
Some mining, some crafting.
Yeah,
Had a lot
but
more like
nothing like that
RPG
game.
elements than something like Minecraft, where it's pretty straightforward. There's a little bit of XP crafting, but with this, there's a lot of like gear you craft with stats, and then there's every time you mine, you get mining XP, and then you can dump into basic stats. Like I think I leveled up mining, and um, it just increased my mining skill, and then eventually you could unlock unique skills through a skill tree. I'd say Terraria again, because there was actually like full on bosses inside
Oh, there's
the.
bosses.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's a big like Terraria thing, is the whole like progression of Terraria is tied behind defeated bosses.
Yeah, yeah.
So the basic resource you start up with is wood, and you get wood tools, and then you use your pickaxe to
Wait, where are you
um
getting the wood from?
So
You
there's
find
roots.
it in the starting room,
Yep.
but Joe worked out that you are meant to plant it and grow it to get more.
Yeah, so you
Right.
get
Okay.
seeds. So there's a lot of fun because it sort of reminds me of Skyblock in that way, where you're sort
You
of
have to
like
brick for everything from what
resource
you plant.
starved because you're in the middle of a cave. Like obviously living
Yeah.
in a cave, you've got lots of ores, but you're going to be starved of basic
There
resources
is
like wood and stuff like that. So
a bit of a
wood
tangerine,
becomes
but
more
there is
valuable in the beginning.
actually there's actually a skyblock equivalent to that in Minecraft. Like there's like
Oh,
cave
what's that called?
block.
It's
Cave
just
block,
called
I'm pretty sure it's
because
called.
I've played Sky. I think it was Sky Factory. On hardcore, I was playing that. I know there's like I saw Sips and Hat Films were playing like an underwater like Skyblock game. But I do think it is interesting when you take the survival crafting genre and you kind of flip it on its head and go, everyone's played Minecraft. Let's do something a
Yeah.
little bit different, sort of thing. And I think there was a lot of intrigue. I don't think we figured it out, but I don't think I looked anything up, which is a very good sign to the game, where it was
You
intuitive
learn to the
enough
game.
where I could learn by playing, yeah. Which,
Yeah, we had some items and stuff we didn't know what to do with.
hmm.
And in that room you were just in on the video, I found out if you smash those like wooden things, you get rare resources and
Yeah, I
stuff.
was smashing those. I didn't know you weren't.
I was smashing them, but first of all for wood, and then I
Mhm.
realized I was picking up like mechanical parts and stuff that I didn't know what you do
Yeah,
with,
so
or the
from what
gold.
because we did eventually build a house, but a lot of the people that I saw from the trailer video I watched afterwards, a lot of people built their bases around the core, which is why, because you wanted to go off and explore, and I said we should build a base here near the core sort of thing, which I think is probably a good idea based on, I don't know, we didn't really get into, learning how to power the core, but it seems like it's going to be a core mechanic because when I hovered over some of the statues around the core, it seemed like you had to like
Didn't you
fight
say you need the
bosses.
full
Yeah, so it
game?
says it needs energy, and then if you click on the statues, it says like Gorm the Devourer. So I assume like maybe you needed to slay bosses in order to get crystals to power the core. Like I think one of them said unlocks in early access, so there was some
Okay,
stuff
so
locked off in the
it's
demo.
looking like that top one's the boss we found. Then I guess the blob.
Yeah, we found one of the basic enemies is there is in every single game like this
This
is
is
slimes.
yeah. I would say it's just like what's that? Valheim? Is that similar to that, right? Where there's like bosses in the world, you have to like kill them and get stuff to them,
Yeah,
and
I
you
have
have to do
Valheim,
something
but I've
with.
never played it. So
Right.
interested to
So I
play.
guess we compared it to Terraria, Stardew Valley, and Valheim so
It's a
far. Okay,
survival
that's
game.
good.
We haven't
Yeah,
compared it to
yeah, yeah,
Minecraft yet, right?
yeah. It's a lot. You're underground. It's not like Minecraft.
It's like the caves and
Yeah,
cliffs
there's
update
mining,
minus the cliffs. Oh, actually,
there's
Yeah.
crafting.
there is cliffs. There is cliffs.
Okay.
Because we found that we got all the copper stuff, and then we needed to go up to the next tier, which was what was it, tin or
Tin.
something?
Yeah, but tin
And
was a lot harder to find. Like I
but
thought
then I
copper was quite hard
found
to find at the beginning, and
yeah.
then tin was really
Well,
what did it.
I found an area where there was a lot of tin, but then the enemies were like really, really strong, sort of thing. So it sort of balances out where the further you go in, the better resources you get, but then the harder the enemies become, sort of thing. So it is like gated by like gear and how powerful your character is. Because there's specific skills for everything, and you get to choose a class when you make your character. You choose how your character looks. I press the randomize button as I usually do in most games
Right.
because I don't know how you guys feel about character creation, but
I love
I
character.
really couldn't care less for it. I
Oh,
just don't
I love
really
Like how
it.
are you
care.
meant to roleplay then?
No,
Yeah,
if
I
I was
get
role
that.
playing a
I needed my
specific character,
backstory.
if I was going to roleplay a specific character, I would do it. Like if I was going to play like New Vegas and I was going to be like
Yeah, no,
Vic
I like doing it
Fontaine,
just for the
then
fun of it.
sure, I would do something like that. But then like for this, like I'm just gonna hit random because I don't like spending hours in the character creation screen. I just want to play the
Oh,
game.
okay. I know, I'm a massive fan of just like. I mean, I remember like in Sin, I just like
You're the
around with.
Sims main. You're a Sims main.
Yeah, yeah. I like doing that in single player. And I find like in a lot of multiplayer games that they have like really bad customization. So I tend to not bother in multiplayer games.
Yeah, so
So
the way it works is walls you cut down and you can put down walls, but if you want to go across gaps in the floor, you need to either digs up floor blocks with the shovel, or you need to craft floors. So there, even though it's isometric, there still is that verticality, and
Yeah.
what's the other word?
It's kind of it's like
Horizontality.
yeah, like yeah, but I say like it's like the exact inverted like from what Terraria does, but they have like have like walls and like back walls, which is like this has like walls, but
Walls and
also then has
floors.
weird floors. So like it's kind of like yeah, just entirely on its head, which is very interesting.
But again, as I was saying before, like mining, every time you mine, you get mining skill. Every time you
Yeah, I
farm, you
really like
get
that.
farming skill.
It's a lot like RuneScape, getting
Okay.
skill for mining.
So I think I eventually figured out how to make a watering can, which you just fill with water. And I started doing some farming. I did eventually build a house, but I don't think I have footage of it. The way the food system works is pretty interesting. Basically,
Oh,
you just put two food items together, and
Yeah,
then
it seems to be any edible item.
yeah.
that's
So
Like
you
you
can
cool.
can just put it in and it
you can
makes like
experiment with it to
weird
figure
stuff.
That is
out like the
really
best
cool.
stuff to make.
Yeah.
So you'll put like peppers and berries, and you'll get like spicy berry pudding or something like, and they'll have different effects.
Yeah.
So you may want to like you sort of like I said, like exploration is a big thing in this game where you're sort of learning how to cook as you go along. Like, and another thing as well is they took some annoyances out. Like, I know some people will like this and some people won't. Where um, to burn things, you just put them in the smelter. So you just put copper ore into
Ah,
the furnace.
there's no fuel.
There's no fuel. There's no like
Well, I
coal that
guess
you
they've
have to
like
put in.
they've balanced like how hard it is to craft a furnace, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's like some copper. Well, it can't be copper bars. It must be some dirt. I think it's a bunch of dirt and some wood, maybe.
Okay.
I just hovered over it there, mates. Let me see if I can
Yeah.
catch it.
Slow down. Slow mo. Slow mo,
Enhance,
folks.
enhance. 20 dirt
Oh,
walls. Yeah, you
oh,
just
that's
make it out of
okay.
dirt walls.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the small lantern. It really reminded me of like SteamWorld Dig. Um,
Oh, yeah.
where if you crafted a lamp, basically when you were in the dark and you had no torches, you couldn't see anything around you. But you could craft a lantern, which basically it made like a small light radius around you so you could see better. And I assume you can make better lanterns for when you go further into the dark.
Into the deep dark.
And
Gotcha.
that reminded me of like SteamWorld Dig, where you have like a little fire inside your robot, and you can upgrade that as you go deeper and deeper into the mines, which I always thought was a really cool mechanic.
Hmm. I mean, it's just very. I really like the animations of this game. Like that's what I'm kind of like looking. Like it's. I
It's
feel it uses the
aesthetically
darkness
pleasing,
quite well.
and also
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not just like, oh, it's 2D, it doesn't matter what it looks like. The lighting in this game is
Yeah.
fantastic. Can you see the reflections on the slime
Yeah. Yeah.
through the Discord stream? Like
Yeah. It's
the
really good
real
quality.
time lighting in this game is really good, and I think that what makes it really stand out to me is that
It's
they
like
could have
pixel
gone
effects.
they
It's
they
nice.
they could have gone like, oh, it's a 2D game, it doesn't matter, but they actually put a lot of effort into it, which does really show
Yeah.
and makes it look really, really cool. So I think Core Keepers is a recommendation from me. How about you, Wave?
Yep. Yeah, I will be looking into getting it when it releases.
Yeah, one for the wish list. So check out Core Keepers. That was a cool little multiplayer,
Yeah. It looks
which is
fantastic.
coming out soon. Next up, we have Spacelines.
It's this I feel like this reminds me of something. Like what?
Overcooked.
Overcooked. Yeah.
Is it any of the same guys?
No,
Okay.
but I will
So
say what it. So Spacelines. It sort of reminds me of Overcooked and Unrailed in space. And
okay.
the
Okay.
unrailed element makes more sense when you get into the game past the tutorial, because it's really fun. You have this almost roguelite element to it where you have to make your ship last an entire run, sort of like Unrailed or FTL, where you have a limited resource. You have to choose upgrades, and then if you run out of fuel or your ship gets destroyed, you have to start again, sort of thing. Is where
Hmm.
because that's the similar to how it works in Unrailed, where
Oh right. Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
upgrade your train and then once your your train reaches the end of the rails, then you end the run and you start again.
I guess
But
yeah, like, reminds me of FTL, I guess, because it's like a ship, I guess.
no, but the FTL works like that, right? It's like roguelite
Really?
almost,
Yeah, oh, yeah. 'Cause you get I guess.
and
So,
you're trying to make your
very
ship go as far
similar.
as possible. I haven't played FTL. I launched FTL. I bought the soundtrack and then I never played it.
Oh, okay. Can you just jump into the captain's heart difficulty?
But this is the tutorial at the moment. It's just showing you like how to play.
Yeah,
The various different
that's
things
very
you can do.
interesting.
So the general idea is, I'll just skip past the tutorial. Go to some multiplayer gameplay, I guess. This might even be single player. Yeah, this is multiplayer. This is me and Wave playing together. So you basically, this shows you going through the galaxy. You need to make sure your ship stays together and doesn't run out of fuel while you ferry passengers across the galaxy. You're basically space Uber or space,
I'd say it's
aeroplanes.
more of a bus service. It
I would
feels
say
more.
Oh,
more like I would
okay.
say it's more like an aeroplane. You're sort of like air hostesses, I
Yeah.
would say, in a lot of
I don't know,
ways.
because there's actual bus stops in space.
Yeah,
Air
but on
stops.
yeah,
You're flying through the air.
it did look like a
You're
bus as well.
flying
I'm
through
not
the air.
Yeah, no, I think it is a bus.
But it's all
right,
very like space age but 60s inspired.
right.
And also all of the like routes and stuff, they're randomly generated as well, so there's lots of replayability. That's where like the roguelite element comes in. So you're trying to keep your guests entertained, so you will periodically have to dance for them. I was the main dancer on our ship,
He was.
Right.
and I basically, when you start dancing, the game turns into like a Dance Revolution minigame where you have to like hit button prompts, if you can see
Yeah,
on the
I actually
screen
saw.
there.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, that's kind of cool. You
Um,
just do it anywhere.
But your main duties will be, periodically you need to be a Chief O'Brien and fix everything on the ship. Things will
Yeah.
break, so you need to take the wrench and fix things. Things need power, so there's a battery over there, and you need to choose which systems have power in order for them to work. You need to steer your ship because there'll be obstacles like asteroids in the way. There's a scanner which you need to use as well to scan for asteroids, and you can also scan for shops or pickups for extra passengers to get more money. There's food trays, which you need to feed your customers. You need to make sure they can go to the toilet, and you also need to keep them entertained. There's also the anti-gravity unit there as well, which if that malfunctions, everyone goes flying into the air. So
Oh yeah, you're not
you can
using
see
central,
all
like
of these like
centripetal ring, or
all of
centrifugal
these
ring.
all of these little things you have to keep on top of. They start to get pretty chaotic when you introduce like more passengers, um, you know, and harder scenarios sort of thing.
Yeah, there's everything like combines together. Really. It's just like
Yeah.
it gets crazy. Okay, wait, that's not a skeleton, is
So
it?
every stop you'll have like an
No,
upgrade
I think it's a
shop.
weird alien.
There's also
Oh, okay.
there's also a bank you can go to where you can save your money from previous runs in order to help you get through a harder run.
And insure your ship.
Yeah, you can buy ship insurance as well, which will save your current ship. I think.
Wait, space insurance sounds a bit of a scam to me.
Yeah, so if you've got like lots of good upgrades on your ship, you might want to get ship insurance and then use that ship again. I guess I wasn't 100% sure how ship insurance worked, to be honest with you. I don't know.
I think it would just copy your ship, and
Yeah.
that's what you would
So an
start
improved
with.
reactor that gives you a bigger battery. It means you can power more devices, and you will need to power more devices because
Why is it Duracell battery though?
that's how you power things in the
Yeah,
60s.
that's how
Okay,
spaceships are powered.
right.
So, for example, at the moment we have physical food trays, but the physical food trays run out. As you on the harder flights, you will run out of food, but you can
Yeah, and
also
you
buy
run out really quick.
a what's it called?
It's a vending
A
machine.
vending machine, but the vending machine requires power. So sometimes we would have to turn like the power off to, the scanner, so we could power the vending machine, so we could get food for the customers, sort of thing. Like,
They're the same with the toilet. The toilet
yeah.
takes quite a lot of power, and we would have to turn some systems off.
Yeah, the Potty Potty requires like 2 battery cells compared to some of the other stuff that doesn't require as much. So for our ship, we spawned with a toilet, but when we played 4-player co-op with 2 of our other friends, we found that instead of a toilet, we were given
Passenger seating.
passenger seating, which is quite useful because it allows you to keep the customers in one place. And
So they're not walking about the ship. They're not picking the wrench up, which is something
yeah, they
can
will.
do.
So if they get annoyed, they will just like start walking around the ship and breaking your systems. So you want to keep them together. So this is how the power system works. So we need
I was
to
gonna
make
say
sure
that power system is actually very similar to FTL as well. That's like
Yeah.
how the power system works in that game.
Yeah.
Oh, there's our gravity's gone.
Oh,
Yeah, we need
who
to
messed
fix
with the
that.
gravity?
We need to fix that.
No, we weren't keeping an eye on the stuff and going around with a wrench and fixing it.
Right, minus
So
one star
we got a bad rating on this one.
on
So
on
the
the
better
Uber
rating
app.
you get, the more money you can charge for the trip. So your goal is to try and
Right.
keep the customers happy, get the 5-star, which then gives you
Yeah.
more money to let you buy more upgrades for your ship in order to. So you need
I
some.
never-
You need someone on the
that's-
phone. I think the phone's not powered.
Yeah, the phone's not powered because
So we
powered
can't
the
actually
toilet.
call. We can't actually call them because we're powering the toilet. So we're having to run around in circles. I'm trying to grab the wrench. I think it's broken or something. I'm like,
It's a
shit,
weird,
it's
like,
not
free
powered.
market system with the review system. That's weird. Interesting. No, this is really good though. Like, I kind of is it okay? Is this a bad comparison? Like, I've not played something like Among Us, but like, I'm not saying it's like Among Us, like something like being sus, but like in terms of like little, not mini games, I suppose. I get it reminds me
No,
like the mini games in Among Us, but like without the actual
no,
mini game
I wouldn't
components.
No, I
say
think
it's like Among
Overcooked
Us at
is the
all.
Okay,
comparison. You've
okay.
got to micromanage all this
So
stuff.
it is more like that train. What's the train one called?
Unrailed.
Unrailed.
Yep.
Okay. So it's a lot like that. Okay.
Well, it's very. Oh, we didn't even. Did we
Well,
even get? We
yeah,
didn't
no,
even
we
get the
didn't get
fuel.
fuel because whoever was on the communications there didn't actually accept it, and I think this is.
It's our
Did
first
you
run.
just? Yeah, this is our first run. We could no longer use the toilet because it got so dirty.
Wait,
So
what
what
happens
will
to it?
happen is if you don't clean the toilet, you need to either buy a mop or go to a cleaning station
Oh
on
no.
the interim stations or in the world, and then they can clean your toilet. Because if people start getting unclean, they'll start being sick everywhere, and every time someone walks in that's sick, they'll be sick. It'll start spreading.
Yeah.
See, we got the
Very
vending.
bad.
We got the vending machine here, which needs power to give people food.
So are you running out of fuel then? Is that what that's indicating?
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah,
We did.
Okay.
that was the loss of our run is we ran out of fuel.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so the
Spoilers.
the run ends when if you run out of fuel, your ship is destroyed, or I don't know if there's a run ender for getting like basically 0 rating. We never got to that point, but that could be a possible scenario.
Maybe
Again,
running out of money, but then I'm sure it would just end by one of the other methods.
yeah,
Like if you can't afford to fuel your
that's
ship.
like realistically the thing that's gonna end your run is fuel. We never had an issue with the ship being damaged really.
Yeah, no, it's pretty easy to avoid the asteroids and the things in the game that we saw that would damage a ship, and that wasn't really a problem.
But there is always ways to like all of these things we're doing. There is a way to automate them, so you can actually get like a TV to entertain your passengers, so you don't have to constantly be dancing for them. But the thing I found with the TV was it was basically constantly breaking, like it was non-stop breaking. So instead
Yeah,
of
no, I
play,
think that's deliberate.
but I think it happened way too quickly because I was
No, I
basic.
think it is meant to be like that. So instead of doing the mini game each time, you're just sat there pressing one button with the wrench.
Why is that better though?
Well, it's better because it entertains everyone on the ship, and you're not having to press buttons in a
Because I think,
sequence. You're
well,
just having to press the one button to repair it when it
it,
goes off.
it if that was an intended feature, I think it should be changed because I don't think it was very fun. So basically, you get a TV, but it is constantly breaking to a point where you're basically sat on top of it with a wrench, spam repairing it. I couldn't tell if that
So
was
that's how run
intentional or
ended.
not. But if it was intentional, I'd like to see that system changed. Maybe make the TV less powerful, but make it break less. I would say maybe
Yeah.
decrease the
Or
range at
maybe
which
a
people can
different
watch
mechanic
it.
entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Dance Dance Revolution stuff was fun that you had to dance for your stuff, but then as soon as you got the TV, it was like, I don't want the
What if
TV to
it's-
replace that
What if
because
it's something like a weird thing was that maybe like you have to like build up like a meter that then as soon as you stop doing it like starts depleting. So then you
yeah,
have to come back to it when you have time to.
yeah.
There was
I mean,
also the grill upgrade that we did not understand what it did.
no, we had no idea what that did.
We're guessing that you could heat up your food,
Dave,
make it better.
Turpedo. Tell me about.
Hold on, I just wanted to say that that was the game I would recommend the most out of the demos we played. Starlines.
Oh,
If it
really?
was up to me,
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I would choose Core Keeper personally.
Interesting.
So Turpedo, it's a PvP PvE submarine game. This was really fun actually.
Yeah, we had a lot of
this.
fun just on the menu screen, not even playing the game.
There's like a bunch of
Oh, I look at the Seeker.
there was like a bunch of mini games, like different games, and we had no idea how to play any of them. But we were just having fun shooting at each other. So it's
I had a lot of bugs, which Joe didn't seem to have. So
yeah, there was a bug with
that
this
might just be
game
on me.
where I was invisible on your screen, but I could still see you.
And then I couldn't in the menus. I couldn't select like which upgrades and stuff I wanted.
It was definitely
or
like
I didn't know how to move the thing. It just occasionally happened.
it's definitely a little bit buggy where, in the demo at least. Hopefully that's fixed before launch because it was genuinely like a fun party game.
Yeah,
Like,
once you get a hang of the movement, because that was a bit confusing for me at the start of like controlling it as well as.
I didn't have a problem with it at all, but you were really struggling with like the underwater controls.
Yeah, it's mainly movement. Were you playing on keyboard and mouse as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not just because I didn't use a
I
controller.
think
I think controller would have been much better.
There was a brain difference, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
So Torpedo, fast-paced 2 to 4 player multiplayer party game where players incarnate submarines for victory over polluted oceans, while you play with a range of mutations in rounds-based combat over multiple game modes.
So is this? So you just try like kill each other then? Like what?
That's what
what's
we
going
thought,
on?
but we started playing this game mode, and in this game mode, you're like collecting radiation or something. I couldn't like fully figure it out,
And
but
what you needed to do was put the radiation into your big tank thing.
yeah,
But we didn't work that out until again. Like we were 3 minutes into overtime and not understanding why the game hadn't ended.
Right.
So the basic mechanics are. Oh wait, we didn't even figure out you could fast fire harpoons until like halfway through playing the game. So you can fire harpoons, which are very quick firing, if you spam them, but they won't go very far unless you like charge them up, in which case they're more accurate. Then there's the ability to put out a shield which blocks projectiles. There's also the ability you can see us charging, which is firing our torpedoes. I think mine were seeking ones and your were cluster mines, as you see here, where as soon as you put them down they became like these like almost like trap mines sort of thing that you had to avoid, whereas mine, when I activate them, they'll start like seeking after you. That was like a choice you could make before you started fighting, so there was like customizability to your like ship class sort of thing, which I thought was quite interesting. Yeah, it's just like a small little fun party game. I think this would be fantastic if you were playing like a LAN party. If they can fix like the multiplayer issues, I think fantastic to play with friends.
How people can? Is it like
2 to 4
like,
players?
Okay.
So you can play. So it's either 1v1 or I guess like 2v2, or you could play. You could probably play like free for all with 3.
Yeah.
But I would say it's probably going to be best as a 2v2 or a 1v1 game. But
yeah, I can imagine that.
Maybe there's a free for all option on the phone. It was Dave. It was really fun. Agree to agree.
Yeah, no, it's good. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
So I'd recommend checking out Turpedo by Miles Lambert. So
Oh,
file could not be opened. Right, now we're talking about minigame. No, we're talking about TrinityS. Okay. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, we'll talk about this game because some of my game files are not working for some reason. TrinityS. So this is not a game I would play. This looks like a Tony game. But
Right.
basically, I downloaded this because it said it had multiplayer in the demo. The demo said this has multiplayer, and I said, fuck it, I want to play a multiplayer demo. So if this demo actually has multiplayer in the demo, I will try it out. So basically, it's a co-op online action game where basically this is the tutorial. The entire point of the game, it's sort of like JRPG but boss rush. So there's no like
Right.
farming minions in between. Every single level is just you're fighting a boss.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
a big part of it as well is it's also sort of like it's just you see these auto attacks. That's just happening over time. That's just like an auto attack that's going off. So I'm not actually controlling that.
Right.
Which was an interesting way to do it. The problem that I found was there's a lot of passive abilities, and it felt like a lot of the time you were just sort of standing around waiting for your mana to regen so you could cast a spell, and then you went back to sort of doing nothing.
Yeah, there's a
I
lot
don't
of
know
downtime.
I don't know if there's like a thing with other RPGs, but again, I don't really play these sort of games. But I think I'll just skip to like an actual boss so you can see what it was like. Because fighting the boss was actually cool. It was sort of the Holy Trinity. So I was playing as the wizard, so I was playing as the DPS class. Then the two AI were controlling the other characters. So you have like a tank class who keeps taunting the boss.
Yeah.
There's me dying. But then the healer, your friends can res you, sort of thing, and then heal you up.
So there's like healer and tank. What AI?
Because I died. Yeah, these are both AI. Because it seems like I just died there, and I was like, oh, you died really easily, sort of thing. I was trying to move, but the thing is, as soon as you cast a spell, you're like locked in an animation.
Oh. Okay.
So like, because I'm spamming my abilities on cooldown because there's like nothing else to do. They're the only real thing that deals damage to the boss.
Yeah.
So this game is really about like precise timing. Because if you cast your spell at the wrong time, you'll get hit by the big boss AoE and you will die. Like, so this is probably like something that some people are really going to enjoy. And
it seems a bit basic even like for that though. Like I feel like there are other games that do this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that looks interesting, but like I feel like maybe like it needs like I don't know. Just like more.
I would like more
synergies,
interaction,
maybe?
but like
Yeah.
Like more game in this game?
no, but the thing is, the reason I say maybe it's just not the game for me. I know people love those like in Asia, like idol games are really popular. Like the anime girl auto fighter genre is really popular. So maybe this is exactly what someone's looking for.
It's separate from that, it's like you're actually like deciding like what ability to use at what times. But I don't know. Like I feel like I don't know. Yeah, maybe it is just like
yeah,
just
not for me and my
like
thoughts.
simplicity they're going for.
Well, I literally downloaded this and I said to Dave, "There's probably no point downloading this because I didn't really enjoy it that much." But
yeah,
maybe this game
I don't know. I just
is
feel
for
that
someone.
other games that do it better. Like I feel like I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I've definitely seen stuff like this. But I mean, it doesn't look bad by any means, though. So
yeah. See if I can. Can't get these other files to load. I'll see if I can like restart the application. Give me 1 second.
short interim.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Doing it, yeah, that's the one. Is
I feel like you should have hold music or something for these. There we go.
This is a tangerine, right? Is that like? Do you grab an orange juice instead of a snack?
Yes.
You grab a Satsuma, I think.
Okay.
And we're back.
We're back with the Satsuma.
We're back with Minigame Madness. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah, we can see it.
Minigame Madness, a single-player multi-game with bots. Why? Why did you? Why are you making a multiplayer demo? But you're going, you know what? Let's showcase our multiplayer game by releasing a single-player demo with bots. Like, what's the fucking point? This is just something I wanted to call out about the multiplayer demo festival. You just have no idea what games are actually multiplayer demos and which was not. Because I downloaded this and I looked at it and said, because you could look at this, Tone, and you would go, oh, this is 100% a multiplayer game. And it is, but the demo is not.
Yeah. Why do you even release this? Like, what are you actually testing with this? I don't really get, like, what you can even do with this.
Because the minigames are kind of fun. Like, I could see myself pissing about, and it's sort of similar to Crab Game or Fall Guys, right?
Yeah.
But if it's gonna be a multiplayer game, you sort of need to do like a flipping, a netcode beta test where you actually get real players to play the game. Like, I hope they're gonna do like an actual online beta test before launch, and not just gonna rely on bot data of people playing it single player.
Yeah, you would think the demo fest would be the
perfect place for that.
Time to...
I don't know, they're just like a proof of concept, like, oh, like, don't, like, here is a game that actually works, but we haven't got the multiplayer working yet. I don't know.
But this is an example of a game with multiplayer that I would like to play multiplayer, but it did not have it. And then we have our final one, which is a game that had a multiplayer demo, but I wish didn't exist. Pain Party. Pain Party has an incredibly apt name. Dave, what is Pain Party?
It's a waste of everyone's time. Mine, yours, the developers.
Pain Party is
what is it?
I think it's kind of like a platformer. Fall Guys-y kind of game. The jump mechanic was so fucking weird. You had to like charge the jump, otherwise you would not jump at all. Yeah, it was. It was like a platformer. I would get. It says Pain Party is a game that combines precise movement mechanics with the chaos of a game show. Fight through the offline story mode and compete with up to 24 players in the online party mode. Let the party begin. Because I think some of this would make more sense if you had a bunch more people.
Yeah, I think our negative experiences come from the fact that it's just us two trying to avoid.
No one else was playing.
Stuff. Yeah, it was just us playing.
No one else was playing this, so.
With more people.
That much better with more people, though?
I think so, because you wouldn't be taking any
No, because basically, you see like these penguin guys that I'm murdering, as soon as they see you, they'll like run at you and knock you off, but there's a bunch of them, and they'll all target you, so if you had like more...
jumping better, though?
No, this is not to do with the jumping. I hate the jumping. You
when I explained to Joe how you could jump properly, then... It's fine. It's just mostly the projectiles.
The AI all targets you, and because you're the only two people in the game, then they just all go for you at once, which just makes it a really shit experience.
It's not like a Mario Party thing.
But no, like a random I don't think the jumping is fine. Like as a party game, it fails, and as a platformer, it really fails. Like the jumping is fucking awful in this game.
Such a weird thing to like. Why not have like a normal jump and a charge jump? Like,
I was trying to pick up the power up there, trying to figure out how to play. But yeah, Pain Party. I do not recommend this game at all. This game was really shit. There's no nice way to put it. I think this game is a waste of time.
Okay.
And not in a good way, like a Gangs Beast or something like that. But yeah,
it's not a time waster.
That's the Steam Next Fest for multiplayer. We always start with the worst first, so we'll do VR next, I guess, because that was definitely the worst. But yeah, check us out next episode where we talk. Well, maybe I'll talk about the 2 VR games that actually ran. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.